Residents in northwestern Ukraine say they're losing hope that NATO will intervene after Russia widens its attack. The first wave of Ukrainian refugees settle into their new life in Italy and France.
Turkey and Armenia's foreign ministers meet in another move to normalise relations after decades of enmity.
We're not far from that Ukrainian military airfield that was hit by Russia on Friday morning. We've just been there and spoke to some soldiers, one of whom gave me this, which he says is a shrapnel, a piece of one of the missiles that hit that place. Initial reports put the number of Ukrainian soldiers killed in that attack at 4. And up until today, we didn't have the official death toll in this war. But the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has now said that 1,300 Ukrainian soldiers have lost their lives so far. The mood in this part of Ukraine is significantly more somber now that Russia has expanded its military offensive to the west of this country. The city of Lutsk, which is home to some 200,000 people, is quite tense at the moment. Many of the inhabitants here saying they want more help and even a no-fly zone over their country before it's too late. Olena has lived near the Ukrainian airfield for 22 years and says she had never seen what she saw on Friday.
I put my head up and saw it fly. It was like fireworks first. Then there was a loud bang. I jumped from that fence and my friend said, "Let's get our passports and go."
With no place to run to, they came back and started the cleanup. After nearly 3 weeks of war, Olena is starting to lose hope America or NATO will help her country.
The United States say NATO doesn't want to help. They have that annoying military man, that old man. They said Moscow and Kyiv need to figure this out on their own. But Putin has become a crazy man, sitting in his bomb shelter.
Olena says she has no choice but to stay put, for now. But her daughter and her family already left town and might soon join the nearly 3 million people who fled Ukraine. Ukrainian authorities are also saying Belarus may be planning to invade this country and accuse Russia of trying to drag its ally into the conflict by staging an attack from one of its positions here in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said he spoke with Olaf Scholz and Emmanuel Macron this Friday after the German Chancellor and the French President had a phone conversation with Vladimir Putin, signaling that diplomatic efforts continue while war edges ever so close to Europe. Annelies Borges in Lutsk for Euronews.
More than 2.5 million Ukrainians have now fled, and Romania is just one of Ukraine's EU neighbours that's welcoming them in. Our correspondent, Georgia Orlandi, who's at the Siret border crossing, says that about an average of 6,000 citizens cross the border into Romania at Siret day and night. According to official sources, the Romanian authorities estimate that around 380,000 Ukrainians have already crossed this border since the beginning of this crisis. It's considered the longest border crossing between Ukraine and the rest of Europe. As you can see, there are many families, people here who are arriving, and there is help, tents on both sides of the road. Here they can find all kinds of assistance and help.
We help with food, sweets, toys. We have hygiene products, baby pampers.
We are here to take the people from the border, to give them a place to sleep. In the limit we can to do it, and we get the car to transport to the west border and to the Europe.
We know that the French Interior Minister was here on Friday and met his Romanian counterpart and praised the solidarity shown by Romanians when it comes to welcoming these refugees, and also the Vice President from US, Kamala Harris, when she was in Bucharest on Friday, She thanked Romania for their efforts in welcoming the Ukrainian citizens fleeing the country.
Ucraini in fuga dal paese. Giorgio Orlandi a Siret, al confine tra Romania e Ucraina per
More than 2,000 kilometres away from the sounds of air raid warnings that very quickly became their reality. These children look out at their new surroundings and learn the local language. This Ukrainian monastery near Rome has become a shelter for 21 Ukrainian women and their children who fled the country.
В ситуаціях ми вже маємо такий досвід, коли були діти, так і
We had situations where children were not ready to go to school. They had trouble adapting themselves to a peaceful situation.
В суспільстві з іншою мовою.
They need to find some calm to adjust to new circumstances.
Тим дітям зараз треба трошки заспокоїтися, звикнутися з тими обставинами, які є.
This is Victoria. Her family boarded a crowded train in Warsaw and then took a bus to Italy. We want to go to Poland and Italy to see the culture as tourists, but we want to come home and live in our own country.
Ми хочемо додому. Ми хочемо жити в своїй країні.
In Tourcoing, northern France, this family has taken in Ukrainian refugee Karina. France has so far welcomed more than 7,000 refugees, and it's preparing for tens of thousands more. I feel secure, but my family is still there. So are lots of my friends and close ones. You cannot feel safe. You're worried about them all the time, or your loved ones who remain there when we managed to leave. Local Ukrainian groups have been gathering supplies. I believe that it is important to give your life for others, because we are lucky enough to be in a country with freedom and with a lot of help provided. People who don't have the means are still given a lot of help in France. And I believe we must help all these people, doing their best to help restore some normality for those forced to flee. When Vladimir Putin ordered his war on Ukraine, business at this Russian restaurant in New York changed overnight. With the war oceans away, staff say their restaurants have become a culinary frontline for Americans. And despite these posters on their doors, they're struggling to get their message across.
We started getting phone calls calling us Nazis, fascists. Our restaurant should burn. But I have family in Russia, and I have family in Ukraine, so it's a personal tragedy. Overnight, my business dropped by 60%. The cancellations were canceled. Reservations were canceled left and right. Events were canceled.
Russian venues across the US have been vandalized as part of the domestic fallout from the war in Ukraine. In this New York bar, staff have been verbally abused.
Bartenders and staff from all the world, from Poland, Ukraine, Kazakh, Uzbekistan, like Russia, Armenia. Our owners is Jewish, and we not support that war. But it's not a Russian war; it's Putin's war.
For now, they carry on with their jobs, looking on with the rest of the world at what's unfolding in Ukraine and hoping for peace.
The Premier League has ordered Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich to sell Chelsea Football Club. It comes after he was sanctioned by the British government over Russia's war in Ukraine and his close links to President Vladimir Putin. After failing to get his British visa renewed, Abramovich moved to Israel in 2018, where he gained citizenship. Italy has impounded a €530 million yacht which is linked to Andrei Melnichenko. He's one of the Russian oligarchs that have been sanctioned by the EU. The SYA is docked at the port of Trieste. Italy's financial crimes police say it's indirectly attributable, through a company based in Bermuda, to Melnichenko.
Tens of thousands of people are demonstrating across European cities in support of Ukraine nearly 3 weeks into Russia's war. They're demanding an end to the invasion as Russia steps up assault on its neighbour. In Florence, thousands gathered to watch Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's address via video link. He told them his country was under bombardment 24 hours a day.